We are here. What day is it? It's the 7th of July. It is a Tuesday afternoon. You're finding us in a different location today, clearly. We're in a little bit of a different looking room today, Bally. We are at the wonderful Harvey's Sports Bar in St Kilda. Now, if you're wondering why, that is because the Throwing Shade Pod boys have officially signed Harvey's as a partner of the pod and everything that we're doing. And the reason why, you've all seen it, everyone who's following us, you know the big news. We are going to be here this Sunday. We're hosting our first event. We're hosting our first watch party. It's something that we've told our fans and audiences right from the start that we're going to be involved in. We're going to be hosting big UFC events. There's none bigger than the one that's coming up this Sunday, which we will get into very shortly. Before I do, for those of you who haven't seen us for a few weeks, thanks for your patience. But as we've said, we've been pretty busy in the last couple of weeks. We've also had a couple of interviews with some fighters in the past couple of weeks. Some more friends out of City Kickboxing have joined us on the pod. We are going to drop that episode over the coming days as well. But today we're going to go through a bit of a preview of UFC 329. Conor McGregor versus Max Holloway. The Mac is back. What a time to be alive. But for those of you who don't know, I'm Ben Tucker, your host, joined by my co-host, Aaron Ball. How are you today, Bally?
It's good, Tuckers. What a day. You know, we've got Harvey's on board. It's not just going to be a one-off event, everyone. This is going to be every big boxing, every big UFC card. So, yeah, we're going to fill this joint out. We've got about 300 to 400 people coming. So we're absolutely pumped. And Tuckers, I'm like a kid on Christmas. I can't bloody wait. Connor's back. The Mac is back. What are your thoughts about the big fights?
Everyone who knows Aaron Ball knows that he's a fan of the UFC for one man and one man only. It is Conor McGregor, the man who got him into the sport. But look, let's be honest, that's the case with a lot of us, including myself. Before we dive into the fights, though, we have to introduce another special guest to the podcast. Friend of the pod, a guy that we met over in Perth. Those of you who follow us from our journey to Perth when we went over and watched Jack Dalla v Prates. We met Big Jakey, who's sitting to our right over here. Big Jakey's a Melbourne boy, good eastern suburbs boy here in Melbourne. He's got some pretty cool news to share with us about a fight that he's actually got coming up. But for anyone who doesn't know who Big Jakey is, content creator, security guard, great all-round bloke who can drink a beer quicker than anyone else I know. Big Jakey, thanks for joining us today. How are you, mate? It's a big week for you.
Yeah, good. Thanks, boys. Introduction was a pretty good wrap. Pretty happy with that. Yeah, it is a big week. I'm pretty excited. I've got my pro boxing debut this Saturday at Clyde in Grandeur against Chaz, mate. So that'll be a big heavyweight bout, which I'm really keen for. Been in camp for 5 weeks, putting in the work. So yeah, just making sure that I'm ready for this fight, and then yeah, obviously a roll into the big day here on Sunday with you fellas. So I'm keen for that too. That might be bigger than the fight. Yeah,
I think there's a chance. It might all blend into one night for you, Jake, by the sounds of it. But for those of you who don't know Big Jakey, there's a reason they call him Big Jakey, and he's fighting at heavyweight this weekend. Aaron, let's get up. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at the difference.
This is embarrassing. So I'm 6'3", so you imagine how big this fella is.
Yeah. So Jakey, just for those who don't know, give us the dimensions, mate. And what weight are we fighting at this Saturday night?
Yeah. So I'm 6'8", and I'm hoping to be in the ring at about 145 kegs. And I know Chaz, mate, is around 6'7", at around about the same weight. So it's a lot of meat in the ring.
A lot of meat in the ring. And how did the fight come about, Jakey? You've obviously got a bit of a reputation for content that you put out there. Can you give the fans a plug of your handle on, I guess, how you've gotten into this position? I guess, what some of the sort of content that you put out on your channels is, and I guess, how this fight came about?
Yeah. So the Big Jakey D on Instagram. If you want to watch me get choked out.
Give him a follow. He's a great man. He's got some good content.
Yeah, that's about the gist of my page. But this fight sort of just came about out of nowhere. Hit Hard Boxing, the promotion, great, they're awesome. Approached me one of the fight nights because I was meant to fight on a different card, and that all sort of fell through. And then the bloke at Hit Hard, Jake, approached me and said, "Mate, we're happy to put you on." And Chaz was keen to hop on. I met him a few times, and he plays at a footy club that I used to play for, so sort of got mutual mates, and then we just said, "Fuck it, you want to get in the ring?" And that was it.
I hear he's been ducking you though, and there's talks that maybe he's trying to pull out. What are your thoughts on his character, and do you think he's being a little bit weak, Jakey?
Nah, look, I'll have a beer with him after the fight, I reckon. Like, I'll have a chat, have a beer with him after the fight. But yeah, for the meantime, it's sort of just trying to remember that we're trying to punch each other in the face. And yeah, I don't know, he might be a little bit scared. Maybe that's why the process is taking a bit longer, but he'll be there. He has to be there, and if not, I'll find you outside of the fight, Chaz, so make sure you're there.
Hey, strong words from Big Jakey. And if you can see the man, his body's a temple, he's drinking water. If you go to his Instagram page, you'll see that he can drink a beer quicker than I don't know how quick he drinks it, but I tried to verse him in Perth, and let's say it didn't end too well. So he's coming for you, he's ready, he's dialed in, and I can only see one thing happening, Jakey, the big KO.
Good luck, mate. Good luck for that night, Jakey. We will be following along. We can't wait to have a beer with you on Sunday. And look, let's get into it, because Sunday is a really big day for us at the Throwing Shade Pod, but for combat sports in general. We all know why this is such a big day. But just for us, a little bit self-indulgent, Harvey Sports Bar have come on board as a partner of our pod. We've been working with them for the past month or two to pull off this event this Sunday. We've got 350 people booked in, roughly. About 280 people booked in on tables, Bally, but there's going to be overflow from the World Cup of people that are going to be in this room, and we're going to give you guys a bit of a tour of the venue and where we're going to be on Sunday in a minute as well. But it's a good bar, isn't it, Ball? It absolutely heaves on game day.
There's nowhere else you want to be than Harvey's Sports Bar. We're talking big giant projector TV. We're going to have UFC fighter doing a Q&A. We're going to have the drinks flowing. There might even be a few little surprises on the day as well. So it's the only place to watch live sport, and especially watching UFC and boxing. So yeah, it's going to be big, and I'm excited to see the Mac. He's back in town.
Yeah, and we got plenty of great partners who have come on board already, who are donating vouchers, prizes, giveaways that we're going to be including as part of the day. If anyone does want to get involved and wants to join in the fun, please DM us, please reach out. We'd love to have you involved. But as far as the action goes, we've got UFC 329 taking place this Sunday. Main event kicks off at 11 a.m. Melbourne and Sydney time. What a card it is, coming out of Las Vegas. Shadow, we're not going. We would have loved to have gone to this one, boy, but we had bigger fish to fry here by putting on this watch party. But it is the return of the Mac. The notorious Conor McGregor is back after 6 years out of the UFC, or after 5 years it is outside of the octagon. He's been up to some nefarious activities for a lot of that time, but looks like he's turned a new leaf. He's found God, and he's coming back in to take on Max Holloway. This fight's at welterweight. A little bit of a different setup for both these guys. Both of them are not known for this division, it's safe to say. But geez, it's a banger. Conor McGregor, from my perspective, really hard to know what we're going to get. It's just been so long. We haven't seen any real fight footage of him of note. He's kept it very in-house, but he does look a lot leaner than he did 12 months ago, or even 2 years ago, Bally, when he was taking on Chandler. He definitely looks a bit trimmer and in better shape. I reckon he's cut out a few activities out of his lifestyle, which are keeping him in better health. And I'm really keen for the next couple of days to see what Max Holloway looks like at 170. Never fought at this level in his professional career. It's going to be interesting to see what the frame looks like, because I remember when he went up to 155 for his first fight against Dustin, I think it was, he looked a bit sloppy, and he didn't look in the greatest nick as far as muscle mass went. He looked a little bit pudgy. Looked like his body hadn't quite developed to 155. But having said that, Max has always said he'd love to fight a middleweight one day. Like, he's a guy who is quite tall, he's quite lean and lanky, so it means he could probably put on a bit of weight. I'm bloody excited for this fight, Bally. I don't know quite what to make of it just yet, but I'm keen to get your thoughts.
Yeah, I think it's the fight we've all been wanting. Obviously, like you said off the top, Conor McGregor is the man who got me into it. I was following it prior, but he was the one that just lit that fire underneath me. You're going to have your haters out there say he's been out of the game for 5 years. Maybe his chin's gone. Maybe his cardio's not going to be there. But I don't know. I'm just feeling like there's a little bit of magic, dust around. The way I'm hearing Conor talk, he's talking about, he's getting rid of the flashy lifestyle. He's dialing in. He's talking about multi-fight deals. I think he wants to come out and shock the world, and I think the only way my boy's going to get it done, Tuckers, is maybe a round one knockout where maybe he just catches Max coming forward. I think if he goes into the deeper rounds, Max cardio, he's been constantly fighting. He's got the runs on the board. He's got the rounds in the bank. So it could just be a bit too much volume for Conor to handle. I hope not, Conor. I hope you get the big win, and then we're on to Paddy Pimblett, or we're on to Ilia Topuria, or even Islam. Who knows? So that's where I'm at, Tuckers. What are your thoughts on Max?
Well, I failed to give the odds right off the top, but we got Conor, the outsider, at $2.79. Max Holloway, $1.45. Look, I think Max is going to be. I think he's going to be too powerful, and if everything is legit and goes to sort of script, and they're both absolutely going out there to get a finish quickly as we expect, I think Max will finish him. Unfortunately, Conor's just that ring rust is going to be real. Pace, the volume that Max puts on you, even with Dustin, some of his fights against Nate Diaz, he's not known for the chin when he does cop really good blows, and that boxing of Max is just crazy good. Speed, having that long out of the ring, I think it's going to be too much for Conor. Yeah, my tip will be around 2 TKO for Maxi. I can see a world where Max is a little bit slower and maybe, I don't know, might be a little bit gassed earlier in the fight, but there's no doubt that Conor's not going to be getting through to round 5 going bloody roses. Like he's going to be tired as well if it goes deep. But if it does go deep, it gets into round 3, round 4, who knows? Max doesn't get KO'd very often, Bally. It's only ever happened once, and that's by the great Ilia Topuria. I'm not sure Conor's still going to have that speed and sharpness that he had from the glory days that we all knew Conor from, but yeah, I'd love to see it. We all know that it'd be great to see Conor back on the board with a win. Be huge for the sport. But what it would lead to afterwards is what would really be amazing, like you touched on. And I'll get everyone's tips about what we think will be next for both Conor and Max after this. But yeah, my tip is around 2 TKO victory to Max Holloway. Big Jakey, give us your thoughts. How do we see this one going down?
Yeah, I reckon there's a lot of questions that are sort of like up in the air that'll sort of be answered in the fight. Like a locked in Conor's a scary Conor, and like he looks like he's back to being locked in. And then what you're already saying with Max moving up, like I know it's a different situation, but we sort of just saw it with Pereira moving up too heavy and maybe put on too much weight instead of staying a bit leaner and quicker. Is Max going to put on too much, or is he going to because I know he's saying he doesn't have to cut weight, which is awesome, but then what weight is he going to go into the fight in? And maybe be a bit slower. And is his chin tested after that Ilia fight? And I know he's had a long break, but once that button's been pushed, it's a lot easier to push afterwards. So I think if it goes anywhere after the third, Max will win, but I wouldn't be like jaw to the floor shocked if Conor gets a stoppage in the first few rounds.
Yeah, wow. Wouldn't that be big? And what do we think, Jakey? What do we want to see next from the notorious Conor McGregor? Got one fight left on his UFC deal after this fight with Max. So if he wants to fight again and he doesn't cop a brutal finish in some sort of way, we will see him again in the UFC. What do we want to see next, do you think?
I do want to see the Ilia McGregor fight, which is a possibility, I think, if he loses this one. But if he wins, I have no idea. Just because I don't think the UFC is going to want to give him a title shot, especially with only one fight left on his contract in case he wins. But yeah, Paddy or Ilia both excite me, those fights. If Paddy gets a big win, Conor gets a win, I could easily see that. But then again, Paddy might say, no, I want the belt again, but money fight, so I can't see why he wouldn't.
100%. And just before we move off, Big Jakey, what do we think about Max? What next? He's also in a bit of a funny spot, right? Like he had the loss to Charles, already lost to Ilia. What do we think's next for Max after this?
I think he's in that period of his career now. Like, I don't want to write him off and say he's not going to get there again, but it could be just like at this point of his career where he's fighting for money, like he's taking the big fights and the big names, just sort of to put a bit of cash in the pocket. But look, I wouldn't want to write him off. I mean, I don't think he's going to go compete in a middleweight belt, but maybe he goes back down now that Gaethje's the champion and see what happens there.
Tuckers, I've just got this feeling that Max is going to just underestimate Conor, and he's going to go, he's been out of the game for 5 years, he's got nothing that can really hurt me, no one knocks me out. I've just got this funny feeling that he's going to just maybe get lulled into a false sense of security, and maybe that's where Conor's going to pounce. So, as Big Jakey said, it's a cracking matchup, and taken from a man that's actually going to be in the ring. He's probably got more knowledge than you or me that are firing from the cheap seats.
Yeah. Well, look, again, it's just so unknown with Conor McGregor, right? Like, there's been such little footage of him. Obviously, he's been a long time out of training. So, one thing that you've pumped me up a little bit this year for ball. He's been able to pick an underdog, and it has been the year of the underdog. We've seen Strickland. We saw even Paddy was the favourite against Justin, and then Justin against Ilya. We saw Pereira lose. Even Max was the favourite against Charles. It is the year of the underdog, so strange things are happening, but we don't have the same data on Conor McGregor that we've had on Justin Gaethje to be able to pick that from my perspective. So, look, I think, we're going to have to go with the human biology here. I think Max is, just the experience in the cage and time in cage is going to get him over the line. But for me, did you answer the question, boy? What do we want next for Conor and what do we want next for Max?
Oh, in my heart of hearts, I'd love Conor versus Paddy. I think that's the promoter's dream. In my head, I'd love him versus Ilya just because, I just think it would just be huge.
Great to get a different opinion to Jakey, the same two fights, great.
Well, it's pretty obvious. And then the main one, which I just think would be the one that, could break all records is Conor versus Islam. There's already bad blood there. There's tension. I just think that would just be fire. So that's who I'd love to see.
What about Max, Paulie?
Yeah, well, I think Jakey was pretty much bang on the money. Like, where to from Max? Is he past his prime? Is he still got that title chance in him? I don't think so. I think if he gets the win, he has to get another chance. But I don't really see a massive kind of trajectory from Max, even if he wins this. Yeah,
cool. Look, for me, Conor. Ilya's a sick fight. It's grouse, clearly. But, I reckon Islam Makhachev would be the fight everyone would probably love to see most of all. I don't think it'll happen for the exact reason that Big Jakey said. The UFC will not give him a title shot when he's on the way out unless he re-signs. If he re-signed for another couple fights so they can lock him in, I reckon they'd give it to him. They're not going to care that he hasn't earned that welterweight strap compared to some of the other guys in the division. Let's be honest, no one would be surprised if that happened. But I don't think it will. My tip would be he definitely will come back pretty quickly. And just a little bit of a sense of me just has a bit of a wonder about Dustin Poirier at the moment. We saw his interview come out yesterday where he's giving up the booze. It's going to be bad. He said he's giving it up. He said I believe he said on the interview that he's potentially not ruling it out a return. What a way to round it out for Conor. Let's just say he gets touched up by Max, which I think will probably happen. What a way to sort of finish off the legacy of the UFC career of Conor McGregor by going out against one of the absolute arch rivals in Dustin Poirier. If not Nate Diaz, that's probably what I would love to see for his last fight.
No one wants to see Nate Diaz back in an octagon, mate. He was like your drunk uncle fighting at a barbecue. He has shown he is past it. He's washed. He's got scar tissue all over his face. The UFC have said bye-bye. That's not happening. Maybe Masvidal, but Diaz, no dice.
Yeah, okay. Fair call, boy.
On that Dustin fight, though, because I know he's openly come out and said he's been taking steroids.
Yeah.
How long do you have to sort of be off of that to clear the testing?
You got to have 6 months clear. Six months clear. That is
McGregor wants to get these fights done quick.
Yeah.
So,
well, they're saying there was talk about April. We went on air with Helwani earlier a few weeks ago. He touched on April, so probably give you the time to clear it out of the system. I'm no expert on the topic, but I'd imagine he could get himself right for that time frame. Fuck, like that'd be a great way to round out the legacy of Conor, wouldn't it?
Could you imagine a world where the UFC sort of says like F you to Conor though and puts him up with the Morales or Prates for that last fight and just sets him up for a shit exit from the UFC? Because I can see it.
Yeah, jeez, wouldn't that be so good? Maybe he'd be Carlos Prates when that was floated like that. You're right. Wow. That's outrageous. But the other thing you couldn't rule out really, like Dana's a pretty brutal guy. If he sniffs that Conor's going out there to go to MVP or put on a big Netflix card, he just might not give him a fight. There's definitely been talk and whispers in the background that's why this has taken so long to get off the ground, because Dana wanted him on contract for those 2 fights for the Paramount deal. So yeah, it's a very big chess match, I think, between Conor and the UFC. But look, as far as Max goes for me, I think he's probably best division and best bet will be going back down to lightweight. Plenty of good matchups there for him. The winner of Quillen and who's he fighting? He's fighting Gamrot. The winner of that's a great fight. Clearly Justin, he's had the win over Justin. If Justin was to lose his next fight, That's a good matchup. So, yeah, plenty of options for Max. He's not going anywhere. I'm not sure welterweight is the area for him at the moment. Look at him against Marlon Moraes. I know the height difference is not crazy there, but I just don't think that's the division for him. I think he'll make a bigger impact at lightweight. But let's move next fight down the line, guys, because we've got another absolute banger. We've got Paddy the Batty Pimblett taking on Benoit Saint-Denis, the pride of France. Paddy Pimblett is the outsider at $2.15. Benoit the favourite, $1.71. Another lightweight matchup. The first lightweight matchup down the line on this card. But one of those fights which is right around there for number one contender. We all had real high hopes for Paddy earlier in the year. Awesome matchup, awesome stylistic matchup. Both really good on the ground, both really strong guys, but both have good stand-up games as well. We should see some action and some violence. I would have thought in this one way or another. You've got so many angles and storylines to this fight. We've seen Benoit potentially struggling with a staph infection over the last few days. It's a banger bully for the co-main event.
It is, but as Paddy says, we don't get knocked out, lad. Don't get knocked out. So I think that, my heart wants to go with Paddy because I love him. He's great for the sport. You know, we might get the Paddy versus Conor. But I just think BSD he's so good on his feet. He's on a bit of a tear at the moment. I think he's going to prove that he's probably slightly a class above Paddy. I think he could win by knockout. I even think he could get him to the ground and submit him. He's shown that he's versatile. And, obviously Paddy's got a chin. He's shown he's a warrior. But Paddy also puts his head on a plate to get bashed. He doesn't have great defence. I think he's going to be a bit overconfident. I think BSD round 2 knockout. What about you, Big Jakey? What are your thoughts on the big fight?
I'm actually a bit shocked that Paddy is such a dog in this fight, to be honest, because I think because of the Gaethje fight, people forget that like Paddy's ground game is actually like world class, just because he didn't use it in the Gaethje fight, which I think he might have come out and said. I can't even remember. It was something about like wanting to put on a show or something like that with Gaethje. But yeah, people seem to forget. Yeah, his ground game is unbelievable. I reckon he's a all-round better fighter than BSD. For me, I like BSD, but then again, like his last few wins, like he's had impressive wins. But you know, who did he beat? The guy that Quillen just knocked out in 2 seconds.
Yeah, and
Dariush. So that was similar.
Dan Hooker as well.
So it's like as well. So
like those fights, it's like like they're impressive. He did what he should do. So it's like you can't knock him for those fights. But no, I think Paddy's the better all-round fighter for me. I reckon Paddy gets it done.
And he got absolutely pieced up by Moicano as well on his home deck, so that really sort of set him back a little bit, I think, Benoit. But yeah, I agree more so with yourself, Jakey. I think Paddy, he's proven he can live for the moment. He can lift for these big moments, and this is, obviously it's not as big as the fight with Justin earlier this year, but it's the second biggest fight of his career. A lot of eyeballs, a lot of attention on him. It'll be the most viewed fight that we've had for a few years, I would have thought. Take out the White House potentially with the general eyeballs on that, but for the fight fans, for the general purists, this is as big as it gets, fighting on the co-main event under Conor McGregor. Another massive star in that part of the world. I think he can lift for this sort of occasion, and it'll be big for the sport. We all know that it'll be big for the sport if Benoit wins as well, to be fair. But yeah, from my perspective, I reckon Paddy is going to come away with. I reckon he's going to have a submission. I reckon it will also be on the ground, and he doesn't go to ground a lot, you're right, because he does want to prove that he can punch and that he can take punches. But when it goes to ground, he's very evasive. He's very good on the ground at like turning and reversing. I could see him catching him, submitting him.
Wow, yeah, I think you make a lot of valid points, both you boys. Everyone knows how dangerous Paddy is when he gets to ground. He probably, like you said, he's been trying to do the flashy fights and hasn't been going the technical route and using his best skill set, which is his submission and grappling. I think you both bang on the money, but my heart's saying BSD, but we'll see what happens.
Let's go. Next fight down the line, we've got a bantamweight matchup, another really fun fight, and one that's going to be a popular fight for the purists. We've got Corey Sandhagen taking on Mario Batista. Corey Sandhagen is the favourite in this fight, $1.64. Mario's coming in at $2.27. Both, really good stylistic matchup. It's going to have consequences for the division, this fight. Corey's one of those guys who gets a flashy and a big prominent win here as well. He's right on the cusp of a title shot. Bally, give us the rundown.
Yeah, I think Batista's very flashy. He's fun to watch, but I think Corey's the better fighter. I think he's going to control. He's great on his feet. I think he's going to pretty much just dominate. I'm hoping it's not just the hug fest. I'm hoping it's going to be an interesting fight. I can see Corey maybe round 2, maybe KO. What are your thoughts, Jakey?
Yeah, I'm similar with you. I've got Corey. Their first fight. This is another rematch as well. So their first fight, I think Batista came in last. It was like a last minute call up, and Sandhagen got it done. But yeah, I think Sandhagen's pretty class. Like, I mean, the title shot against Merab was just in that point where it was like no one was going to beat him. When Peter Yan did it was insane. So yeah, win for Sandhagen for me, and then that pushes him right up to whether his win to. If he wins, I reckon it sort of depends on what they do with Merab and O'Malley. Yeah. Whichever one of them they give the title shot, maybe he fights the other one, and then that's a number 1 contenders fight. So, but yeah, I reckon Sandhagen gets this one done pretty easy.
Yeah, I think so too. And there was talk that O'Malley's pretty much conceded that he's going to fight Corey, right? If he comes through this fight and comes away with the win, because let's be honest, Merab deserves another shot at Yan first. Yeah. Won't be surprised once again if the UFC puts the flashy O'Malley back in there to reclaim his belt. But yeah, that's a great fight, Corey Sandhagen and Sugar.
I'd be so flat for Sugar if they do that fight, Merab versus Peter Yan, and obviously Merab wins, because we just know that Sugar can't beat him. Like, he's thinking all these Christmases have come, true. He's going to get Peter Yan. He doesn't have to verse Merab, and Merab, like, I've seen him training. We all know his cardio. We know he's a beast. Peter Yan, he had a great game plan the last time they fought, but can he do it again? I'm worried, and I'm sure Sugar's worried as well.
But what's the end game for Sugar, even if he goes in and beats Yan for the title again? Because Merab's not, he said he's not going to go up. So Merab's coming eventually. So what's the end game? He's got to start doing something to prepare for it.
Like how many times can he verse him and just get taken down and get molested? He has to figure out a way to stuff the takedown, to beat him in the grappling. If he just keeps getting out wrestled every time, like, surely Sugar's got a trick in his bag, doesn't he, Tuckers?
Well, Sugar has always sort of flirted with the idea of going up to featherweight, and like he could definitely put on some weight to get up there. Like, he's got the height, he's got the reach, he's taller than anyone he normally fights at bantamweight. So I don't know, if Merab gets in, they would probably give him another shot. They'd probably give it a crack if he earns it. I think he's probably better off going up to featherweight if that's going to be the case. But look, fights don't stop there. There's some really good ones. There's another good flyweight matchup coming up next. Actually, we've got the veteran Brandon Royval taking on Lorna Kavanagh, the Brit, the Pommy. We've got Brandon as an outsider at $2.79. Lorna Kavanagh coming in at $1.45. Odds are a little bit surprising for me. You've got a lot of experience in Brandon's corner. He's been involved in some of the great flyweight matchups that we've ever seen. A vet, but he's coming off 2 pretty bad losses in a row. And Lorna seems to be a little bit airborne. He's got a country behind him. Really exciting fighter, really flashy. I'm tipping an upset here. I think Brandon has just got experience. I know he's been KO'd recently, but he's got scar tissue, boy. Like, I reckon he should be able to survive this fight. I'm gonna go Brandon Royval in a decision victory here.
Wow, there you go. It's unlike Tuckers. He loves to pick a dark horse, so I don't mind it.
Put some respect on his name, boy. He's been around forever.
I don't mind it. He's come off 2 terrible losses. I feel like Father Time's catching up to him. I think his reaction time's a little bit slow. I think Kavanagh, he's going to come out, he's going to hit him with volume. I think he's going to be just too good for him. He's been an absolute warrior, and I'd love him to get a win, but I just don't think it's going to happen. What about you, Big Jakey? Well, how are you weighing this one?
Yeah, I agree with you on this one, actually. I reckon that Josh Van fight took about 10 years off his life. So
yeah, that was brutal.
Yeah, brutal. Since then, like, so he's just...
Manel Karp hits hard though, right? He's a hard hitter. Shouldn't be surprised that he got KO'd by him. He's still ranked number 2, Manel Karp.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I think that Kavanagh gets it done. I reckon it'll be a stoppage. I reckon round 2 could even be a round 1 and
stoppage.
That's for mine. I think.
Well, against the grain. Love it. First fight on the main event to open up the main event from 11 a.m. here in Melbourne. We've got the former Bobby. We've got King Green taking on another veteran in Terence McKinney. Two vets, two older gents, but two pretty fun fighters. There should be some violence and some action in this one. Both will be very front, like they'll both be pressing, they'll both be coming forward. Both great strikers. I think King Green's I think he's a pretty sure thing in this one. If I look at the whole card, I would have thought he's probably my hot favourite. Sportsman's not giving me an odds for this one, boys. So when I get the episode up, we'll list the odds here for you. But I would have thought I'd be surprised if King Green's not a pretty sure favourite here.
Yeah, well, remember last time I backed him last time when he was the underdog. King Green, he's looking good. I've seen him training. We were trying to get him on the pod. So King Green, we were talking to you. So please pick up that message because we'd love to have you on, brother.
Geez, I'm actually incorrect there. King Green's the outsider. $2.28. Terence McKinney $1.63.
Really?
Really surprised by that.
Yeah, but he was the outsider last time, and I backed him as well. So I think,
good on you, boy.
Yeah, like, good on me. Yeah, well done. But yeah, I think he's shown that he's been on fire lately. He's the last fight he literally controlled the whole thing. It was a little bit scrappy at times. Maybe that's due to getting a little bit long in the tooth. But I'm backing King Green again. I think he's gonna get a knockout. So that's where my head's at. Let's go to the Big Jakey to see his thoughts.
Yeah, if you want to put all my picks together in a multi, you're probably going to get a bit of value in it because I'm riding with you boys. I reckon King Green gets it done. I don't know by knockout. I reckon the two old boys might sort of just crawl to the distance, but yeah, I got King Green for mine, so you might get like 500 to 1 odds if you put my multi together at this point.
You heard it first. Get on board the Jakey Shade multi.
It sounds like a classic Bally multi, that one, actually. Yeah, just ridiculous odds.
Let's not talk about the Bally multi. We had to cool that down for a bit, but we're coming back bigger and better, don't you worry.
Yeah, maybe when we get a betting partner, Bally, that'll have to happen. But look, that's the main card. Fire card. It's every single fight on there is an absolute banger. For those casuals, this is one to tune in for clearly. Everyone knows who Conor McGregor is, but if you tune in from 11 a.m, you're going to see a lot of action and there'll be a lot of finishes. It's going to be hard to have a better card than we had at the White House Bally with every single fight being a finish, but this one won't be far behind it from my perspective. And what about the featured prelim? We've got our boy, Big Robbie Whittaker, the Reaper. He's going up to light heavyweight and he's taking on Nikita Krylov, another very violent man. Rob is due for this, so he's needed a new challenge and he's needed something to freshen him up a little bit, I think. He's coming in as a pretty short favourite for some man who's going up to a very big guy, and Nikita Krylov is quite tall and rangy as well. Rob's coming in as a $1.65 favourite against Nikita at $2.24. I can sense this is going to rejuvenate Rob to an extent. He's talked plenty of times about the fact that he's getting KO'd every time anyway whilst he's fighting in the middleweight division. So he's got to go forward and he's just got to be willing to lose to be able to win here, boys. So I think he's going to go out and just have a real crack. He's going to be in for a slugfest. I reckon our boy Rob's going to get it done to round out the prelim event. Paulie, what do you think?
You're bang on the money, Tuckers. I think that Rob said it numerous times. It's bloody hard cutting weight. He felt sometimes a bit weak. It's the weight cuts are getting to him. Now he doesn't have to. He can step up a weight class. He doesn't have to cut as much weight. He might be the smaller man, but we all know he's world class. Obviously, Harvey's bar is going to be packed. We're going to be getting behind the Aussie. The Aussie, oi, oi, oi chant is going to be happening. And I can see our great man, the Reaper, Big Robbie Whittaker, coming away with a huge win. Round 2, I think he's going to knock him out and he's going to be back on the scene. What about you, Big Jakey?
I'm actually a bit worried for our boy. Like you're saying, he's been knocked a couple of times. That Calms that one, that was pretty unlucky. He's just an abnormal human. But he sort of got to the point of his career where he was the test of the division for the fighters coming through.
He was the gatekeeper, he was. You're right. You beat Rob, you get into that top 4 range. Yeah.
And now he lost a lot of those fights, and now he's moving up a division. It's what is he expecting to do in the new division though? It's because he's not gonna have a shot at the belt. You wouldn't think Is he just wanting to go gatekeep a new division? I don't know. I get it if you want to just fight and not cut weight, but I just don't know what the intent is behind the the move up. But yeah, I think he can get it done. But yeah, I'm worried.
So what's your official tip, Jakey?
I've got him. I have to go him. The heart has told me I got to go for him.
I think that you're so right. Like, I worry for him as well. Like, going to get up against some of these big boys. But the one thing that gives me a bit of comment, look what happened with Paulo Costa going up, right? Like, he went up, and I probably thought the same thing. I probably thought he was on the back nine and not showing much. He's losing to his Stricklands. He lost to Rob as well. He goes up, has an incredible win, and the division with Pereira having moved out probably is a little bit there for a few names to come into it, potentially press their claims to get up to the top. Because what do you got? We got Carlos, who's got the belt, right? Superstar. We all agree he's a great fighter to watch. Pereira's still ranked number 1. Ankalaev is on the shit list with the UFC. Yuri's not going to get another shot anytime soon. Then you got Paulo Costa. So, Jesus, there's a bit of a gap there if he can come away and have a good, exciting victory, I think.
100%. And like you said, like, we all gave Costa no chance in hell. We said he's old, he's past it, he's slow, and there was a phenomenal performance. So what's saying that Rob can't go up a weight class? And he's world class. Everyone forgets he's got the mentality of a fucking animal. I think he's a short favourite for a reason. People know what he can do, and I think he's going to go up. But to Jakey's point, yeah, does he have a title shot in him? I don't think so. But it's going to be fun for the division, and I think there's some really exciting matchups.
Sorry, Jakey.
No, that's right. I was just saying, like, now that you mentioned, like, I hadn't had a proper look at the light heavyweight rankings, but now that you mention it, it's sort of, it is pretty open. But then the same thing to worry is, like, you win this one, give him a Costa, for example, and he wins that one, and then it's like, you got to come up against a Yuri or an Ankalaev, and they are scary, man.
It's a big jump up, isn't it?
Yeah. So, if he wins this one, beats Costa, and somehow manages to beat a Yuri or an Ankalaev, Jesus, it would be exciting to see what he could do.
Big for the Aussies to have another champ up there. Paulie, one more fight we need to touch on very quickly. A man you've been waiting for quite a while, right? Big Gable Stevenson. He is finally here. We've been talking about him for months, probably over a year, I'd say now. The American gold medalist in wrestling has finally cracked the UFC. He's making his debut. Look at the odds. When do you ever see a debutant come in the UFC as a $1.04 favourite against Alicia Ellison at $11? Wowee. That is an insane betting line. It's a heavyweight matchup. Give me your thoughts, because I know you're a fan of Gable.
Oh, I love him. But, he's John Jones' little prodigy. Everyone's talking this is the next big thing. He's an amazing wrestler. He's gone to the NFL. He tried the WWE. This guy is a freak of nature. He's athletic. He's a great wrestler, great grappler. The odds are insane for someone, I don't know, who's really proved himself yet. So I wouldn't be diving in, crew. He did fail at the NFL. He did fail at the WWE.
Jeez, what?
Is he just a wrestler? I don't know. Will he be able to, have multifacets to his game, or is he just going to be one-dimensional? But I think, Blind Freddy can see him winning, so I'm gonna tip him. But there is just a little bit of doubt in my head that the odds are a bit ridiculous. So what about you, Big Jakey?
Oh yeah, he wins. He'll shit it in. But I know you've heard this story before. I reckon a little bit. Bo Nickel. And different weight class. It's a different situation. I get that, but Bo Nickel was meant to come in, and he's a great fighter. He's impressing a lot of people, but he was meant to take the world by storm when he came in, and then that loss obviously set him back a little bit. So the odds being that low are that was pretty shocking, but I still think he just shits it in.
I think he's the short favourite of the card for a reason. He's probably going to be too good, but those odds, Tuckers, I don't know if I'm not even using your money to bet on that one.
No, round 1 KO victory. Put it in the diary. It will happen, Gable.
What's that, $1.20?
Yeah, $1.20. Yeah, load up, everyone.
Yeah.
No doubt he's going to come away with an impressive performance, I think. But look, we don't have time to go through the rest of the fights because there's a lot of action on and quite a few more fights down the line. But you got Cody Garbrandt, one of the most exciting fighters we've had in the bantamweight division. You got Luke Riley, another young Brit, exciting prospect. He speaks exactly like Paddy the Batty. Really good prospect. That prelim fights start at 9 a.m. Starting from 7 a.m, you got the early prelims. You got Tracy Cortez, Ryan Gendra, Zachary Reese, Corey Durden. What's that?
Big favourite of me and Jakey's.
Tracy Cortez. I'll be watching that
You'll be
fight.
tuning in, boy, for the first time ever on the early prelims, will you? So, look, it's a jam-packed night of action. Great card. The UFC's been on fire recently with some of these cards, and they've had a really good couple months, but this will really top it off. There's going to be a lot of eyeballs, so it's bloody exciting. Paulie, anything else you want to round out this event with, this show with? Plenty of exciting stuff coming up.
Yeah, I think it's a great card. Obviously, everyone's excited to see Conor back. Obviously, as we touched on, we're going to have a huge event here. Everyone make sure you get behind the Big Jakey. He's going to have a big, I think, round 2 knockout. We're all going to be here. It's going to be huge, live. It's a free event. Get down, have some fun, and let's hope my boy Conor, the Notorious, can get a win and maybe sign a 3-fight deal so we get to see him a little bit more, Tuckers.
Where can the fans watch it, ball, if they're not coming down to Harvey's?
You will be coming down to Harvey's, but if you're not, it's available on KO and Main Event, so make sure you tune in. It's probably, besides the White House, it's probably the event of the year. It's got so many repercussions that can come out of it, and I think we're all just so excited.
Yeah, fantastic. Early prelims and the prelims will be available on Paramount Plus. Big Jakey, thanks for coming down, brother.
Thanks, boys.
Anything you want to add to round out the day, mate?
Thanks for having me, boys. If you get the chance, you want to come down, Clyde in Grandeur in Clyde, Saturday, the 11th of July. I'm going to knock out Chaz. Right, that's one for the multi. If you could get a market on it, lock it in. That'll be a good night. And then Sunday, make sure you get down here. Once I get a few frothies into me, I might have to get a few choke out videos. So if you want a chance, wrap your hands around my neck, come down as well.
You might even see the infamous Bongaroo down here on Sunday as well, which Jakey's known for.
Chance. The man is a beast. Good luck trying to beat him. If you beat him, I'll put something on the line. There'll be a big prize. So.
Okay. We'll find you at Big Jakey D, right? I got that right?
At the Big Jakey D on Instagram.
At the Big Jakey D on Instagram. Get around him, follow him. He's a very good man, a good friend of ours on the show. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. We're at Throwing Shade Pod, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. We'll see you all on the weekends.